everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. I'm really excited to bring today's project to you because as demonstrators, we get to see the catalog early. So we've seen this catalog for a long time, and then we also get the privilege of ordering a month early. But this particular paper in the suite wasn't available until after our catalog went live. So normally when I have a new catalog, the first class I do is a try it class. So especially those of you that were in the try it class, because normally all of those cards, there's 10 to 12 cards, and they're always designed around the designer series paper. But because this one wasn't available, it wasn't in your class, and I hadn't even seen it. In fact, it just came today. So I've interrupted a series that I'm doing, but I haven't posted them. Well, they're posted, but they're not live yet. So I'm going to back this one up and get it at the head of the line because I'm just really excited about it. Because I've literally had this paper out for about 10 minutes, just long enough to throw this card together so I could show it to you. So it's the Beauty of Tomorrow. It's the Blackberry Beauty Suite, and the bundle is called Beauty of Tomorrow. The paper is just beautiful. And because I wasn't able to include it in the try it class, and because the first day the catalog was available, some of you tried to order this and then you were like, why can't I not get this paper? And you went ahead and placed your order without it. So what I'm doing this month, if you buy the stamps, the dies, and the paper, because you'll need them, then when I send you your thank you gift later this month, I will also send you the supplies to make 2 cards using your stamps and your dies. You'll need the colors that are kind of listed here. We'll make them work with whatever you have, but you will need something similar. And then I will send you the link to 2 private videos. So it's kind of like a mini class for absolutely free. All you have to do is buy the stamps, the dies, and the paper. And not all of this stuff, because I'll even send you the paper that you need for your 2 cards. But that way you'll get to see it. The other thing I wanted to point out is nothing on today's card is part of Celebration. This goes through September 30th. But it is one, if you look at this very back page back here, if you join Stampin' Up, if you want to be part of my team, even if you want to just do it so you can get the discount, it's really low minimum. It's $99. You pick 125 of whatever you want to go in it, and there's only tax. There's free shipping as well. But during Celebration, you can pick several of the bundles that are in here, and Beauty of Tomorrow is one of the bundles that you can pick for free to add on. So that saves you $50 right there, plus shipping, handling would be free on it, and tax, because this would be totally free. So you'd save probably about $60. So let's take a look, because one of the things that we do in my Try It class is I show you every sheet of the paper so you can kind of see what they look like. And obviously they didn't get to see it because I didn't have it. So it is the specialty paper. I love this side because it's kind of holly-ish. So I think you could do some really pretty Christmas things that are non-traditional colors. But of course, I'm a sucker for the specialty side of every paper. And then look at this one. It makes me just want to wallpaper my walls and have it in some, like 50s, 1940s kind of fun thing. And this one's fun because it's kind of the masculine one with the twigs. And then look at this one. Those owls. Owls are really in right now. Takes you right back to the 70s. I'm showing you the other side, but I mean, really, are you ever going to use this? That's your option, unless you do a flip. If you saw my cabin card that posted recently, that would work. This is the sheet that I'm using on today's card, and it's so completely beautiful, and there's a lot on it. So I'm going to show you a fun technique that you can do when you really want your paper to shine. And there's the other side. You got some wheat. I love when they have the metallics. If you follow my channel, you know I love the metals. So here we've got that, and then here's another one that just has a real strong Victorian kind of feel to it. And this one's really pretty too. If this was in a normal sheet of paper, a pack of paper where there wasn't specialty, this would be one of my favorites. I love the cinnamon cider. But I mean, how can you not use that? The nice thing is the patterns are large, so you can kind of mix your designs. Then here is a card that I made. I did use the set. This has the gold shimmer paper, which is also part of the suite. This one does have the bedazzling paper, which is one of your free choices. So this tutorial is already up, and the reason I wanted to show it to you is because I'm not using the ginormous die. There's a huge leaf die that comes in the set, and if you want to see that, go watch this video. I'll have a little pop-up thing come up on this video so you can click on it. This is the ribbon. I am using that. And here is the stamp set. It has some fun words, ones that are a little bit different. We're using this big one today. So here's my paper. And then I have just if you order the suite, go ahead and get yourself a pack of the Blackberry paper and the cinnamon cider, because they look so pretty with it. And I know especially the Blackberry isn't one that we tend to use very often because it's such a strong color, but it matches this paper so nicely. So I do have a Blackberry background. And then I wanted to use this paper, but it's such a strong design on its own that I wanted the paper to shine, but I wanted to be able to put stuff on top of it. So whenever that happens, if you follow me very often, you know I'm a big fan of vellum, because with the vellum, we can do both. We can get something on top of it, but we're not going to lose this beautiful paper and end up covering it. Because if you put this saying on it, look how big it is. By the time you stick that saying on some other paper on the top of it, then you've lost about a quarter of your paper, maybe even a third, because that's a big stamp. So what we're going to do is, there's not really a good order to do this, so I'm just going to kind of do it out of order. I am going to take my piece of vellum and stick it on here. This is from the not Quiet Meadow. I'll put the stuff down below. It's from the rectangle scallopy set that was new to the annual catalog. I don't think it's Quiet Meadow. It's one that also comes with flowers, and I have far too many plates on there. Just stack them all over there. Now, when you use this, it's a scalloped, but it's also got a flat edge. You want to make sure that you don't go through speed bumps, so have it at that little angle, and just roll that through. So go ahead. We're going to need this again. But see how pretty that is? It has the nice scallop and then all the stitching. So it's a really pretty little die. So we are going to emboss, but I wanted, again, to use the Blackberry because the paper's so strong. At first I thought I would just use gold, but I was afraid the gold wouldn't work. So I'm gonna emboss with just regular embossing powder, regular stamp pads and clear embossing powder, which you can do. You don't have a lot of time because it dries fairly quickly. You have a little bit longer on the vellum because it stays wet. So I am going to stamp this little bird that comes in the set. Now, if you want the owl, you can cut it out of the paper. There's not an owl stamp, or you can get the Affirma. I had the word. I can't say that word, but you can get that pack, and some of the owls come in that. Affirma, is that right? Oh, I think that's right. I don't know what it is with me in that word. Well, it's probably migraine medicine. So I'm going to put this clear powder on that for just a second. And then I'm going to ink up the words. This way it's not going to, the ink, what's on there will stick. Just ink the words up. I should have gotten a clean piece of paper out. And stamp these on here. And the nice thing about vellum is you can tell if you got everywhere before you pull it up. So go ahead and just make sure that you stamped everywhere. And then pull that off. And then we will put our powder on here. And this is just clear. I've used embossing powder. What happens, I get something on my desk and it's just as easy to use this stuff that's laying here. So I have used this basic pack of embossing powder several times now. So in the basic, you get the white, the clear, and the black. It's a great little pack and it's gonna last you for a very long time. So now we're gonna heat these up. I'm gonna do the cardstock one first, and here's a little tip. Heat it from the bottom. That way anything because it's just regular ink, so it dries fairly fast. So this way, even though the heat gun doesn't have a lot of air, it would have enough to kind of blow that off. So just heat it from the bottom. So super easy to see when it's melted. I could have given myself a little bigger piece of cardstock to make it a tad bit easier to hold on to. But this is a fun technique. It just makes sure stamping looks so much more bold. Now that get that on the top. So we got that. I'm gonna do the same thing with this. And the nice thing is it's gonna be super easy for you to see when it changes, see? The other thing is on this one, if you miss a spot, the ink's gonna be underneath it, so it's not gonna take your words away if you miss heating something. Makes it nice and shiny. And then once I'm done and it's melted, you can do it once over the top there. Now the reason I ran this through with this first is because if you run hot embossing powder through, it can sometimes smash it. So I'm going to give just a second, and we'll go on and do something else on here to let my bird have a fraction of a moment to dry. Because when you press that through, you know, the embossing machine has a lot of pressure to cut it, and you don't want those the plate to stick to your warm embossing powder. Once it's dry, it's okay, but it does have a tendency to stick. So I'm going to put this here. This is the ribbon that comes in the suite. I have all those plates covering up my, you just need it. I'm not going to tie a bow. I'm just going to use it for a highlight. So I'll just put it here. It doesn't matter where, just the bottom third of your card. But there's no measurements. This is super easy. Just do it however you like. This is a really, really easy card. And it's also great for those of you who don't have a lot of stuff yet. When I first started stamping about 30 years ago, all I did was emboss. In fact, when Stampin' Up, I joined Stampin' Up about 27 years ago. And when I did, we didn't have our own colors of stamp pads. But when I signed up, you didn't get to pick what was in your kit back then. They just sent you a kit that was super expensive. But it already had stuff in it. There was kind of a creepy clown. Wasn't a fan of the clown, but you had to take what came in your kit. But we didn't have our own ink colors. And maybe a couple years after I was in Stampin' Up, then that was when they came out with their 48 colors. And I thought, why in the world would you need more than one blue? Because when I first started stamping, all I did was emboss, heat emboss. So I had gold and silver and black and all of the colors of embossing that you could possibly need. That's a little bit crooked because I'm talking. But it's Seal, not Seal Plus, so I can pick it back up. So if you're new, you can get colors of stamp pads and then get the clear in the basic pack. Love that Seal. That's not the Seal Plus, because now I'm able to fix this. I should not be talking as much when I'm trying to put something on straight. There we go. Isn't that Seal wonderful? If I'd done that with another adhesive, it would have ripped my paper right up, or I'd have to live with the crooked. But I just had the gold. I had gold, black, silver. I don't think copper existed then. So I just had some random colors of embossing and watercolor pencils, and I would stamp and emboss and then color it in. So if you're looking to just kind of switch it up, then just get one of the basic packs if you're new, a Versamark, and then make the clear work on your other images. Now for this, there's a die on here, and then it comes with 3 leaves, and then this is the gold shimmer vellum that's also part of the suite if you get the whole suite. I'm a fan of the whole suite because I don't like typing numbers, which if you do my classes, you know, you only get a PDF on some of the classes because I hate typing numbers. So when you order the suite, you just have to type one number and you get everything on the page. And you also save a little bit of money. So, you know, I can tell myself it's to save the money, but it's just as much because I don't want to type it all. So the ribbon and this vellum are also part of the suite. Oh, we're almost done. So we're going to take the bird first. Isn't he pretty? It just, the embossing gives it that nice shimmer. But I did want it to stand out a little bit from the edges. So I'm just going to take my blender pen, and I have the cinnamon cider pad and the blackberry pad. I'm just going to get ever so slightly with my blender pen, and at first kind of color some of his background in. I will take a close-up picture of this and put it on my website so you can pop over there to see it up close. So now you can see he's a little bit darker than the cinnamon cider that's around him. And I'm just gonna get a dot here of the blackberry. I've just smushed those on my lid. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of highlights of the blackberry. So now he has a little bit more to him, and that only takes a fraction of a second to do. Now let's just stick this together. So I want my vellum to be a little bit raised up because it also helps kind of the words to show up a little bit better. And sometimes when you adhere vellum, it's like, I don't know where to stick my stuff. So I'm going to show you on here. I know I'm going to put my things here. So I'm just going to take a dimensional. Oops, maybe not on top of my card. Put one there in the corner, and then one here in the corner. And I know you can see those, but that's okay because we're going to cover them up. So you just kind of have to think through your card design sometimes when you use vellum. And then before you stick it down, figure out the best place to kind of stick it. So put these here. Take my bird. And then we'll just cover up the dimensional. Now you have no idea that that's what's on there. It's plenty to hold this on. Let's get our leaves. These leaves cut and emboss, as the name of our machine suggests. You just don't see it hugely well on the vellum. You can up close, so I will get that up close picture for you. Start with our big leaf so we can get the most of the dimensional covered up with it. Let's stick it right there. See, now they're just gone. They've disappeared. Go with the medium leaf. This saying says, the changing of leaves reminds us that new wonders are just around the corner. I love fall. But I also love summer. The only reason I'm okay to give up my summer is because it goes into fall. But the older I get, the more I really love summer. Fall used to be by far my favorite season, but I think it's because I lived overseas a lot in countries that didn't have beautiful falls. And you know, if you're in the Midwest, our falls are glorious. Now these are our champagne rhinestones, which are kind of a champagne-y pink color, but look how beautiful they look on here. They just brighten it up just a tad. Super easy, and that one's done. Here's my other one. All of these are going to turn out just, oh, look, I put the bird and the leaves on opposite sides. Don't feel like ever when you watch a video, anybody's video, or even if you're copying out of the catalog, you don't have to do it exactly the same. Obviously, I didn't even know that I did it different, but just placed them differently. So there you go. So if you want to do the free online class, it's a mini class, but you'll get the videos and the supplies for 2 projects, and then you can use your new stuff. So the information on that has been in my last couple of emails. It's on my website on the class page. And it is a free class, but there's no substitution. So don't say I already bought the set from somebody else. Can I buy this from you? Because the answer will be no. So don't make me tell you no. You just have to, it's just a thank you for those of you that really wanted that paper on the first day, and those of you were in the try it and couldn't get it. So there you go. I have a really fun series coming up with a little time of giving, I think it's what it's called, the bundle. So those are really fun. And all of these are kind of leading into my fall retreat, which takes place online in October. And for it, we'll be doing a lot of stuff with fun dies and specialty papers. So the specialty papers are kind of on my mind right now as I start thinking ahead to fall retreat, because those take a lot of planning. So there you go. Everybody have a great day, and I'll catch you back here later. Bye.